Cameron Becht here from Louisville Podcast Studio, your solution for all your podcasting needs. So today we're going to figure out how do I post my podcast to Spotify. Super easy process. We'll make it overcomplicated. The gateway to creating content and doing everything else. Now that notion is super easy now. So you're going to go to creators.spotify.com and go to log in or sign up. One of the two. I already have an account, so I'm going to do the log, or I'll show you what sign up looks like. It's the same browser. So you go here, you can either sign up with Spotify. Now, this was originally called Anchor. Anchor was bought out, and now it is called Spotify. So that's, if you ever used to use Anchor or wondering what happened, this is what happened. We'll log into, what account should I log into? Let's do this one. We'll log in. And I'll show you guys kind of how the process works a little bit. So this is one of my awesome podcasts here. They do a lot of good stuff. They have an untitled show, and then your podcast, and then you make your own podcast. So we go here, and let's say we wanted to do a new show. Let's actually, you know what? We'll start from the very beginning. We'll just do a whole new show so you guys get the whole experience. I'll make a new account right now. Be super exciting. Continue with Spotify. Continue with Google. Sign up with Google. So email address. So I'll pick an email address. So it's like, let's pick one of my 30, cam@cameronbechtcoaching.com. Pay your birthday in August 26, 1999. Because I need all your information, which is super fun. All right, you'll be brought to the screen. You're going to hit accept terms. Typically, everyone here is going to have a new show. This platform you can use to distribute to SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the platforms, which is cool because Spotify owns it, but still lets you post on other platforms that aren't Spotify. So I think that's cool as a brand to do that. So create a new show. All right, it's going to bring you here. You're going to title your show. You're going to get prompted this. You're going to title your show. So we can call this the, Cameron Becht Coaching Podcast. Description, blah, 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 blah. This isn't even going to be a real podcast because I'm not going to make it. Category, this isn't super important, but just find something that kind of fits you. Language, English, if it's not English. But yeah, don't put that much energy into category, all that stuff. It really doesn't have much role. Your show art. Show art is 1080 by 1080. Just make show. I'll see if I have a little 1080 and I can pop them through here. I got all kinds of videos and pictures and yeah, boom. Canva, so exciting. So upload that. It's going to load. So it's going to ask you to verify your email and then publish your first episode. The cool thing is it gives you can monetize eventually. Monetization comes a lot later. I will show when one of my clients hits these stats. I'll show you guys how to monetize a podcast, and you can go through that process. Analytics are here. This is where you can see how many people listen, how long they listen for, settings. This is where you have your show settings, so you can figure out creator name, category. You can change all the stuff explicit. I'd say normally this doesn't matter too much. If you're going to be custom all the time, explicit, if you drop 1 or 2 words, clean's fine. I think explicit's really for if it's like super explicit. Here, do your connection. So if you have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, put all those in there. Your website, if you have a website for your podcast, which I recommend you do, go here, put that. You can delete your podcast, which I will, because I'm not going to be using this podcast for anything. So what does uploading actually look like? I'll put save real quick. Or availability here. Actually, while we're here, this is how you distribute to Amazon, Apple, Castbox, GoPod, all the guys. I'll make videos about how to show and stuff like this in a while. The biggest thing is just getting your podcast on Spotify, because that is where the majority of people are. It's either Spotify or Apple Podcast. That's where everyone is. Team, you can share this with other people and they can manage your podcast for you, which is nice. So this is the majority of stuff that you're going to be doing. You verify your email address, super quick, publish an episode. It's not that hard. So we'll just pick a random episode, select the file. What's the smallest file I have? That won't take super long. Let's just do this one because that's a pretty small file. How to your podcast. Test podcast. Descriptions, I typically like to have like a call to action. Hey, follow us for more. If you want to get in contact with me, here's my email address. Just, big show notes. If you want to do show notes, you can do kind of a synopsis of the episode of like, hey, this is what we talked about. This is what to expect. Thumbnails. This is a new thing. This requires more resources. This is something I can take care of for you if you'd like me to take care of. And also, like I said, if you guys don't want to go through this process, Google Podcast, you can manage all this for you. But I'm all about people doing things themselves, especially if they have the bandwidth for it. Great. But thumbnails are definitely something to keep a track of because they're even rolling out thumbnails and they're rolling out clips where you can do like reels kind of for podcasts, which is interesting. Vision option is it 18 plus, is explicit content, all the things. I don't ever really do seasons. I don't play them. I don't think they affect much because podcasting is such a niche audience. Like it's very rare for a podcast to be discovered through like SEO or through someone else just finding it. Someone who knows you and then goes and finds you because they're like, oh, this guy's a podcast. I want to go to that podcast. Like there's already an interest or a pre-done thing that has drawn them to your podcast. But it's going to upload, generating preview. I think it requires you to put like some words here or whatever. Next. So the only thing I don't like yet is that there's no unlisted option, kind of like how YouTube has it. It's just now or schedule, which I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Let's say we publish it now. So just go ahead and publish it. Gives you a little synopsis of everything. And we'll hit publish. And then boom, your podcast is on Spotify. And also make sure you verify your email address to finish publishing the episode. That you'll just get an email in your inbox that says, hey, verify, get it done, super easy, quick. Yes, go wait for this to do this. All right, the preview has been generated. Publish. Oh, I have to view task. Verify your email. Okay, so you have to resend the email to verify me real quick. But after that, you're done. That's all you have to do. I'm not going to verify it because I'm going to have to leave this podcast anyways right now because there's no point in doing it for me. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our Instagram is Louisville Podcast Studio, just on Instagram, so that's it. And if you have a question in our email, you can email us at team@louisvillepodcast.studio. And we look forward to you guys growing your podcast. And like I said, if you guys ever need your Instagram managed, you want your podcast edited, you want clips from your podcast, you need anything that involves podcasting, even content creation, Louisville Podcast Studio can manage that for you. So have a great rest of your day. And if you like this video and want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel to see more.